Let me tell you something that will sting a little. If you're the kind of man who's sitting around wondering what it means when a woman lets you scratch the palm of her hand, you're already on the back foot. You're playing defense in a game that was never built for passivity. You think she's the mystery? No, brother, you are. When a man scratches the palm of a woman's hand, it can mean something. But here's the truth. What it means depends less on her and more on the man doing it. This isn't about some cute body language trick. This is about power, dominance, submission, and your role in that split-second exchange. Too many men have been neutered by a society that tells them to be nice, to never offend, to tiptoe around women like they're glass statues. You're looking for clues in her behavior instead of defining your own. You're decoding when you should be declaring. Let's get into the real meaning behind this gesture. And before we break it down, know this: I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm here to slap it if it's too weak to grip anything with purpose. 1. The palm scratch is a test of boldness. When you scratch the palm of a woman's hand, slowly, deliberately, what you're doing is testing the energy between you. You're saying, I'm here, I see you, and I'm not afraid of touching what I desire. But most men don't even do it right. They fumble, they hesitate, they touch like boys who've never held a woman who respects them. And you know what happens? She feels it. She feels your uncertainty, your insecurity, your need for approval, and she loses interest. A confident man doesn't scratch the palm hoping for approval. He does it because he's reading the energy of the moment, and he knows how to escalate intimacy with calm, unapologetic masculinity. Look at any powerful male figure in history who understood women, not as puzzles to solve, but as forces to engage. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, resistance is where power is forged. If you can't even take the small risk of touching a woman's hand with confidence, how the hell are you going to face the bigger battles of life? You need to ask yourself, am I scratching her palm to gauge if she likes me? Or am I doing it because I like her, and I'm unafraid of making my intentions known? There's a difference, and women can feel it instantly. 2. It's a subtle signal of sexual confidence. If you're grounded in self-respect. Let's be honest, the palm is one of the most sensitive parts of the human body. A scratch there isn't random. It's not just flirty, it's intimate, it's prelude. But if you're coming into that moment with weak energy, seeking, begging, performing, it's not seductive. It's desperate. Let me burn this into your mind. Women respond to energy, not technique. You could copy the exact same gesture that a high-value man uses, but if you don't carry his presence, his grounded confidence, it's going to fall flat. Or worse, creep her out. Self-respect isn't about being perfect. It's about not collapsing into neediness. If she pulls her hand away, does your world fall apart? If so, you've already lost. Here's a scene that gets it right. James Bond. Not the modern, emotionally confused version. I'm talking about Sean Connery. When he touches a woman, it's decisive. It's not about approval, it's about magnetism. His touch says, I'm in control of myself, not of you. That's the key. He never asks for desire. He invokes it. Now compare that to what most men do. They brush a woman's palm like they're writing in invisible ink, praying for a response. And if she doesn't giggle or lean in, they retreat into their shell like a damn turtle. That's not confidence. That's fragility. Women don't want fragile men. They want fortresses. The scratch isn't a question. It's a statement. But only if you are the kind of man who can back it up. So here's your wake-up call. Stop treating your interest like a loan that needs approval. Declare it with strength. If she reciprocates, great. If not, you've just filtered out someone who doesn't match your energy. Move on. Stop right here. Take this in. If you're still asking, what does it mean when I scratch her palm? Flip the question. What do I mean when I scratch her palm? Because that answer tells her everything she needs to know. 3. It reveals your inner frame. your masculine polarity. Listen, every interaction between a man and a woman has polarity, masculine and feminine energy, pushing and pulling, attraction and repulsion. When you scratch her palm, you're engaging with that polarity. But here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. If you don't know who you are, she'll decide it for you. Let me repeat that. If you don't walk into an interaction with your frame, your values, your direction, your calm, unshakable presence, then she's going to take control of the energy. And once that happens, you've lost polarity. You've become her emotional support hamster. She'll keep you around, maybe even text you when she's bored, but she'll never respect you. The masculine frame isn't loud. It doesn't bark orders, it just is. Think of Epictetus, who said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Control doesn't mean control of others. It means you're not tossed around by reactions. If you touch her hand and she doesn't react how you hoped, can you still hold your frame? Or do you shrink? Apologize? Overthink? That palm scratch is more than flirtation. It's a moment where the universe asks, are you standing in your masculine energy or faking it for attention? And don't lie, you know when you're faking it. 4. It's a window into your neediness or your abundance. Let's talk about neediness. And I want every man listening to hear this like a roar in their soul. Neediness is the cancer of masculine energy. When you scratch a woman's palm and you need something back, her attention, validation, approval, you've already destroyed the interaction. Why? Because women are biologically wired to sniff out neediness like wolves smell fear. They don't respect men who orbit them, like satellites begging for gravity. In Roman history, Emperor Hadrian had a male lover named Antinos. Not a typical love story, but hang with me. What made Antinous so powerful wasn't submission, it was presence. Silent, unshakable, mysterious. He wasn't chasing Hadrian, he was simply there. Magnetic, sovereign. Even in love, he didn't lose himself. That's what women want from men. Whether it's a long-term relationship or a single touch, they want to know you are full with or without them. That your cup isn't empty and waiting to be filled by their attention. The palm scratch, it amplifies your energy. If you're abundant, it's magnetic. If you're needy, it's repulsive. So ask yourself, if she pulled away and never texted again, would you feel rejected? Or would you shrug and continue living your purpose-driven life? Because if her rejection shatters your world, you were never a man in the first place. You were a boy dressing up in confidence like it's a Halloween costume. 5. It's a move only a king can make without collapsing. You want to know what it really means when a man scratches the palm of a woman's hand. It means everything. If he's a king, and nothing if he's a peasant in his soul. A king doesn't ask if a woman likes him. He knows who he is. He brings value, direction, vision. He doesn't need her, but he invites her into his world. When he scratches her palm, it's not because he's wondering, do you feel the same way? It's because he's communicating, I know who I am, and I have space for you beside me if you're worthy. Let's look at the Godfather, Michael Corleone, not before he became hardened, but when he's first in Sicily. He sees Apollonia. He watches. He doesn't chase like a dog. He approaches like a man who knows what he wants. Every gesture he makes is deliberate. His presence is undeniable. And when he finally touches her, there's weight in it. Authority, calmness, danger, love. That's a king's energy. It doesn't beg, it offers. Now, if you're scratching a woman's palm and you're the one hoping she'll show you the way, you're not the king. You're the jester. A king can touch her hand, feel her energy, and if she's not receptive, he doesn't internalize it. He doesn't rage. He doesn't beg. He nods, moves on. That's masculine maturity. You don't become that kind of man by reading quotes or pretending to be alpha. You build it through discipline, rejection, silence, heartbreak, and rebuilding yourself with stronger bricks each time. Because a real man doesn't scratch palms hoping to feel something. He already feels alive. And he shares that aliveness with women who can handle it. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. Are you acting like a man who leads, or are you acting like a man waiting for permission to feel masculine? If you scratched her palm and she turned her head, would you turn to dust, or would you smile because her reaction doesn't define your worth? You can't fake strength. And a woman's body knows the difference between a man and a mouse. So if you're wondering what that touch means, ask yourself first, who am I when I give it? Because that, my friend, is what she's feeling. 6. It's a mirror. She'll reflect the strength you carry into that touch. When you scratch her palm, what you're doing, consciously or not, is offering her a glimpse into your essence, into your calmness, your chaos, your desperation, or your dominance. And she reflects it back like a mirror. If you touch her hand and your energy is hesitant, apologetic, or performative, she might smile out of politeness, but deep down, you've repelled her, not because of the gesture, but because of the man behind it. And here's what most guys miss. You train a woman how to treat you by the way you show up in every moment. That palm scratch isn't just a gesture. It's a test of your nervous system. Are you calm in the fire? Are you composed when you're close to what you want? Or do you start shaking the moment desire enters the room? Let me tell you something straight. If you're the kind of man who watches her reaction and changes his personality based on it, you're not a man. You're a chameleon. And women don't mate with chameleons. They observe them, laugh at them, and discard them. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And it's true. The freedom you crave, the magnetic energy you want to radiate, it only comes when you let go of performance and step into presence. A woman will feel your energy more than your words. She doesn't need your pickup lines. She needs your inner gravity. She needs to know that when your hand grazes hers, it comes from a place so grounded, so unbothered by outcomes, that it wakes something ancient inside her. Touch her palm like a man who knows who he is, not a boy pretending to be confident, because her body isn't fooled by your words. It's responding to your truth or your absence of it. 7. It's the gateway to leadership, not control, but direction. Let me say something that's going to trigger the weak. The man leads, always, not through force, not through dominance, but through direction. Women are tired of indecisive men, tired of men who ask, "What do you want to do?" Tired of men who wait for signals instead of creating them. So when you scratch her palm, are you leading the energy forward? Or are you hesitating, waiting for her to decide what it means? A real man doesn't just touch her. He leads her somewhere with that touch, into trust, into tension, into curiosity. He doesn't force it, he guides it. And if she resists, he doesn't collapse, he respects it. Because leadership is never about control. It's about presence and direction. Look at Gladiator. Maximus didn't beg for anything. He didn't try to manipulate his way into power. He commanded respect through action, through vision, through unshakable resolve. Even when stripped of everything, his home, his rank, his family, he still led. From the arena, from the dirt, from death itself. That's the kind of energy you need to carry when you're near a woman. Not bravado, not fake alpha nonsense, but direction. You're not scratching her palm because you need a reaction. You're scratching it because you're guiding the moment. You're offering a door, and only a man with a strong spine can leave that door open without fear of it slamming in his face. The weak touch and wait for permission. The strong touch and walk forward with or without approval. And women know instantly which one you are. Let me wrap this up with the final truth, and I want you to burn it into your soul. If you're still obsessing over what a palm scratch means, you've already missed the point. The real question isn't what it means to her, it's what it reveals about you. Every gesture you make around women is an X-ray of your confidence, your mission, your purpose. You don't need tricks, you don't need tactics. You need to become the man whose mere presence makes the gesture irrelevant, because she already knows who you are before you ever touch her hand. So if you want to live like a man who commands respect from women, stop asking questions rooted in insecurity. Start living answers rooted in strength. And the next time your hand meets hers, don't scratch to test her. Scratch to reveal yourself. The confident don't ask for permission. They move with purpose and let the world catch up. If this hit something in your gut, and I know it did, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Because I'm not here to babysit your ego. I'm here to make you a man again. And this is only the beginning.